Hello. As part of our Inspirational Message series for the Light and Love Box, we are this month going to be exploring balance. I am Joe Courier.
And I'm Tracy Anderson. Welcome to the Light and Love Box channel. You are part of a growing community bringing peace, possibility, and prosperity to help transform our world with light and love. So today we're going to explore balance. And the first thing that popped into my head when we thought about balance was work-life balance. You hear that all the time, over and over. And as you know, it goes so much deeper than work-life balance. We have spiritual balance, mental balance, emotional balance,
Physical
and
balance.
yeah, physical balance too. So we have all these different things that we're trying to juggle and balance in our life.
In March, honestly, we talked about this earlier, that it's a perfect month to explore balance because this is considered the place where there's the equinox, the first day of spring. So March inherently creates the perfect opportunity to explore balance within ourselves because it's being shown in our environment and in our world, our outer self.
There's so much we can learn from nature and incorporate into our own lives. It's wonderful.
Well, and I took a moment and I was looking up symbols of balance. And of course, there's lots of things that we normally think of. We think of as it's considered the most ancient symbol of balance is that yin and yang symbol,
Mhm.
because it's perfectly balanced and it has representation of both on both sections,
Mhm.
on both sides. But they gave examples of balance in nature. And there's two that really stood out to me. One was a zebra. A zebra isn't black with stripes or opposite. A zebra
Right.
is just perfectly balanced in itself. And every zebra that is born doesn't struggle with, do I have more black or do I have more white? It's just, I am both. I am balanced. And the
Mhm.
other animal goes back to that work-life balance. And it was the beaver. A beaver represents balance between I need to build this home for myself. I need my beaver dam to be safe and secure and, to always be working. But then beavers have a lot of opportunity to just play. And I thought that was interesting that even that work-life balance is
Mhm.
represented in the animal kingdom.
That's amazing. I never even thought about the beaver representing balance. That's really cool.
Yeah. It was a fun tidbit this morning.
Well, and going back to the zebra, I think it's interesting that it's white and black. So that's that light and dark balance. So I think that's a really good thing for us to contemplate because we as humans we're so complex and we have so many different layers. We need to be able to find that balance between light and dark.
Yes, and to be able to move through those.
Mhm.
We do think often that when our lives are in balance, we are in this place where there's just like this harmonious zen and everything in our world feels good. But those moments happen. But
Mhm.
that's not the place that we continuously live in. We need to experience the swinging, if you will, or consider the scales that tip. We need to experience this and that in order to understand where personally we feel like our lives are in balance or where we feel like our sense of balance happens because we can't control it. We can't control the exterior world and the environments, but we can control how we navigate as those things come into our experience in our world.
Well, that brings in this month where we are focusing on the energy of the rune Laguz, which invites us to embrace the flow, the natural flow of energy in our lives, so that it can restore balance in our life.
Yes, because when we are trusting in that flow and process and we don't necessarily try to control everything that happens, the balance just happens more easily. And
Mhm.
because we don't always have to be responsible for being the impetus to push us in back into balance. We do have responsibility, though, to look within ourselves. And this goes back to part of the ceremony this month because we look usually at balance in terms of the three aspects of human beings, and a triangle represents this very well. The body, the mind, the spirit. But there's also, and this month we have tea lights that represent the mental, the physical, and then the emotional balance that we have. But we go farther than that. We go
Mhm.
into the balance of we're looking at our spiritual self, we are looking at our inner self, but then we're also looking at that space just gently around the exterior of ourselves, our aura, and recognizing that that also needs to have balance and harmony for it to then come into and be representative of what we're feeling in our inner selves.
One of the things that I saw while I was contemplating this ceremony that we were going to be doing is it's almost like this concept of it's almost the balance radiates from in and then comes out into to the aura. So I don't know, I saw that balance almost growing within us and then it shines out from us.
Yes.
So, and then that kind of brings in that component of then it allows us to be light out into the world.
Yes. And again, that's the whole premise of what I think we as humans are looking for, to
Mm,
be that beacon or that light where it glows first inside of us and then it just exudes naturally to everything and everyone around us.
mhm,
We also have to recognize that that outer space, our aura, is affected by the exterior things, the environmental things that go on. And when those things creep in deeply enough, that is where we end up feeling like we are in a state of dis-ease,
mm,
disease, or out of balance. And so it not only, it's like a torus, I think, where it radiates out but then it comes back within. So
mhm,
the idea that we need to actively think about not just the inner balance, but all those other parts of us helps to keep us in a place of vibrancy and health
mm.
and courage and joy and passion and confidence and all of those things.
Well, some of the areas of healing that kind of are presenting themselves based on the focus of this box is I thought it was interesting that like rigidity and loss of spontaneity is in there, lack of focus, restricted flow, restricted balance, burnout of imagination.
Oh
Like,
my gosh. When did we lose magic or believing in the magic that life brings for us?
mhm. Yeah, so I think there are so many opportunities for healing this month because I think our society naturally is pulling on us all the time, making balance or flow very difficult. So you really have to be present and focused and take time to recognize that you need these to focus on these areas so that you can achieve balance even though we're in a state of imbalance.
Yeah. And going back, that's that state of work life balance.
Mhm.
The life part has to give us time for self-care, for focusing on what we need, not just physically, but for our own emotional health and our mental constructs that help guide us to be in a place where you're meditating or doing yoga or taking a bath. All of those things just give us those opportunities to harvest that balance of something other than work and feeling driven and doing to just being. Yeah.
Right.
And it occurs to me that the 6 tea lights that are coming to people, they are so complex, and I really hope everybody will tune into every aspect that each of these balanced tea lights brings, because there is color, there is the essential oil so that you have the scent, there are the herbs, there's the stones and crystals that are on these. They're very complex. And in the ceremony, when you have all of those things where all the tea lights are illuminated at once, there's going to be a harmonization, not only of the fragrances from the essential oils, but also from all of the energetic aspects that's going to be represented within that ceremony. And to pause perhaps and recognize, it all blends so well. One doesn't necessarily overpower another, although you may be aware of one or another more keenly at different points. But
Mhm.
this is why I absolutely love the ceremonies, because they really challenge us to go beyond simplicity and become the complex being and recognize that and work within that framework that we are. And Light and Love Box guides us in that process.
Mhm. A thought just popped into my head. One of the things that could really be done is post ceremony. Okay, so
Mhm.
a little bit of on the enrichment side, but each of those tea light candles, I think, could be used then to spend a meditation time for, the next 6 days, really focusing and really digging deep into that area of balance. And it's almost like the ceremony is a catalyst. It's that
Yes.
catalyst of awareness that all these things exist and create a whole being balance in our
Yeah.
life.
That is a really nice extension of things, because some of the ceremonies we ask people to let their candles burn down. But in
Mhm,
this case, I think the cards allow us to have that choice. In the moment, are you guided to just let those tea lights, continue to burn and create that ambiance or that environment that you are in the ceremony? Or do you do the extension and allow yourself to then continue to be in this place with that introspection, and creating deeper harmony within yourself in all of those areas?
mhm.
I
Well, and
love
I
that.
think yeah, well, and the really cool thing is that the items in the box are very, very diverse,
Yes.
and really, I think that each item could be used for a whole month. You could really dig deep into an area and
Yeah.
really find deep and lasting healing.
Yes, I think you're right. Because when we make those changes within ourself, then it continues for your entire life.
Mhm,
Have shifted within yourself and therefore your environment something very lasting.
mhm. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
very, very interesting to think about it like that. I know, from a social media standpoint, we've been trying to build posts that have a whole month leading up to the ceremony of thinking about balance and thinking about how that fits into your life. Well, now then once you have the box, now you can carry that farther yet.
Yes. And hopefully every box then guides people to continue to do that within their lives, where they
Mhm,
find an aspect, whether,
mhm,
we've had bracelets and other things where we encourage you to wear them and continue to think about the aspect that the box brings. So it's always a possibility to extend and to work. I mean, deeply work on something
mhm.
within yourself.
Yes, so I'm gonna say having a journal is really, really important.
Yes. It does allow you to go back and see your growth or progress and also to reconnect maybe with ideas that come in and you don't lose them that way. Then you can
Mhm.
continue to build on them. Yeah, I agree with you, Tracy. Journaling is very important.
Even if it's just simple, I think sometimes people get bogged down into that it needs to be long. I don't have it right here, but I have this it's just a date book, and I just jot little, like, it's a square this big, you just jot a couple thoughts down. It doesn't have to be crazy, it
No,
can just be simple.
yeah. And I think that's important because going back life, work, all of the responsibilities we have, sometimes
Mhm.
we think we can't fit that balance into our lives, but just those simple little bullet points allow us to do that.
The other thing that I was thinking about too is sometimes, when you are going about life, you feel that sense of, oh, this is so out of balance and so just
Mhm.
out there. But what I've found is that even something simple, it doesn't matter what it is, right? Like, pull a card from a tarot deck or an oracle deck, or,
For
I
me, it's
like
lighting a candle sometimes.
yes, exactly. Or as simple as I've got this plant and I absolutely love it and it's up high and sometimes I can just reach up and I just touch its leaves. And sometimes just those really simple, fast things, it brings back that sense of balance. And it's amazing how just something so simple
Mhm.
can restore balance.
And we forget how nature plays into that sometimes. So when we are in an office building, or, many times I find in between my sessions with people, I just literally have to walk outside. It if there's sunshine, that's even better, but if there's not, just to breathe in and to gaze at the trees or the clouds or just, to bring myself back into a place of a better balance so I can better than work with the next person.
Mhm. I
Yeah.
think that we've almost overcomplicated restoring balance. Like, I think people just need to know it can be really simple. It can be so, so basic.
Yeah.
As basic as even just doing, like, a minute of grounded breathing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
And
I
maybe we can be like a flamingo when we do that minute of grounded breathing because they balance on one leg. You know what? Geese sleep that way. They sleep with one leg up and one leg down. They just naturally, in their rest, restore their equilibrium.
Yeah, so I just if I could just one thing about balance is it doesn't have to be complicated. Make it simple, make it easy, and it's then easier to incorporate in your life.
I agree. I agree. That point of simplicity brings the greatest joy when you take a moment to recognize it. So, in this month's box, I really encourage people to take note of all aspects of what is coming because there is a point where it talks about imagining yourself in a color of balance. And the list is like 6 colors long. It doesn't matter which one you choose. recognize that the color that you're guided to or drawn to is the one that you need most in that moment. It doesn't have to remain that way. And there's a lot of color just in what's coming in the box. So,
Mm.
notice it and think about it and use that to help you as the ceremony participant really deepen your intentions.
Yes, and that's a great point because every box when it comes, every little element has been considered and is corresponded to that energy in that box, even down to the artwork that's on the ceremony cards. Every little thing is meant to enhance that energy.
Yeah, and I appreciate when people recognize the nuances because it is deeply ingrained in each light and love box.
Well, we invite those of you who wish to dig deeper to visit the links below and check out Light and Love Box. We have subscription opportunities that allow these boxes to come to you each and every month. And they're energy based ceremonies that are designed to help you focus on healing your spirit, soul, mind, body, and emotions so that you can manifest your best life.
So we invite you to subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell so you can be notified when new content is released. And we just want to thank you for joining us. We look forward to you joining us again. Our hope is that you will become a regular subscriber to this channel as Tracy and I continue to just explore so many things in life with each and every one of you.